Luminant Luminaughts. This session for one winning slot to slut, co-authorshipping of what may be our editor's only choice, and what we may find for us as an agent's worst nightmare. So saddle up, silly, and wrap the reins with an affirmative grip of your mind held, and hold on to the saddle with the horn provided, as it is, ready to be blown. What was spied via telescoping metaphysical looking glass, written in bold-faced monotone of the CRONESKRYPT language on the sails of the approaching mothering ship, landing from the ocean of futures on the surface of rippling waters into a lake of an otherwise tranquil mind, was a sweep of the present wind that would bend anyone's reed to the guidance of its imposing will. Quote, the tablecloth, the dinner she was attending, was something she had never seen before. It was in the weave, each place setting at the 8-person dining room table was loomed into what had been woven, and each place setting was definitively alternative to the other. When she asked about these differences, the host had a historical account of how it had been passed down through generations and generations of their family, whom had originally acquired it as a gift from their live-in maitre d' at the time. And there was more. The chef had intimated, when asked, where they'd procured the tablecloth, that it had come from a bazaar he frequented beyond the veil, disguising the multidimensionality of otherworldly realms, such as those of the fae and their ires, that are veiled by an umbra of promiscuity of elementary conscious belief via experience, and that passages, portals, paths, and trails to and from these areas, sometimes somehow beyond time and place of space, have been relatively inaccessible to those uninvited into depths of time immemorial. Each placeholder was representatively displayed as for the family's head dichotomy of royalty at each end of the table, and 5 of the 6 side seats were for either guests of children, with final one designated in the middle seat to the right of the maternal head, and left of the paternal was designated sole for the attending maitre d'. She found this a phenomenal story of which she could other than wholly believe. And with this inspiration of envy that had fired up, came a seemingly insatiable drive to learn more, save her hosts had brushed it off as pure embellishment that had layered on to entertain family legacy by tying to folk tales. This was the initiation into the story that subsequently wove itself into the fabric of her furthering experience. The rest of the dinner party was rather bland until the eldest son of the hosts mentioned something very startling about the work he was being employed to do at his job with incarcerations via Disincarnate Solutions, Inc. The name of the company alone was startling. Through the course of listening our guest came to find that the company was using an ancient technologies discovered high in the mountainous regions of Peru that was otherwise lost to the modern world. During the course of his complaining about his job to his parents hosting the dinner, she learned a few fascinating details about how those ancient Peruvians dealt with both their most severe criminals and their most distinguished elders in their ancient pre-Diluvian society. What she found most intriguing is the length of the neck of the porcelain Peruvian spirit bottle was the same length as the Lemurian crystal power rods used in defense of the natural consensus during the conflict that led to the cataclysm after the resurgence of incarnates of the submerged lands of Mu. And the bottle's reservoir at its base was just the right size of globe that was the perfect fit to house an astral body's source spherical orb of Akasha code. Their experiments weren't what her intuitions brought up through anticipation either. Instead of releasing the ethereal ball of enlightening into the womb of a willing, knowledgeable surrogate wombed mother, their experimentation had been training a certain grade of medium channeler to exhibit pure bodily possession, to literally house a second spirit in simultaneous clean split persona navigations. And so far, Disincarnate Solutions Inc. had a small number of operative agents in the field that the ordinary world was oblivious as to their integration within the modern society. She also discovered how their ability to preserve this research was largely due to the holders of societal manipulative control of the modern era using a repeat of the pre-biblical dividing and confusing of the languages via the sweep of information and communication fires that have engulfed our world, being driven by whole new sets of language models and AI algorithms, recognized or otherwise. Co-author, unquote.